Hello friend, welcome to the course Foundations of R Software. You can recall that in the last lecture we started a discussion on the print command, and we wanted to learn how we can generate a report in which there are many types of formatting is also needed. So we discussed the command print and we had used the format option. And now today I will try to continue on the same lines, and I will try to give you here some more options like a scat. So I will try to discuss that if you want to do something, then if you try to use the print command, then what happens, and if you try to use cat command, then what happens, and with the format how you can control the output. So let us try to begin this lecture and try to understand these concepts through some examples. Okay, suppose you want to print the 0 occurs at twice of pi radians. Pi, you know, pi is the mathematical pi whose value is 22/7, like as 3.14 etc. So pi is the word or a command in R that gives you the value of pi. So I want that let R takes this value here pi itself and it give me the value like the 0 occurs at say 2 into 3.14 is something like 6.18 at 6.18 radians. This is what I want to do, right? Now what I try to do here, I try to use here the print command and see. So suppose I can also use here my this R knowledge, and what I can do here that I can divide this sentence into two parts. First part which is character and another is here mathematical, and then here character. So you can see here this first and third part, they are here the character, and this twice of pi is mathematical, right? So now let us try to use this command here, and because I know from my past knowledge that I have to give the characters inside the double quotes and the mathematical operation just like that. So what I try to do here, that I try to write down here the 0 occurs at inside the double quotes, then I try to write down here twice star pi and they are separated by comma, and then I try to write down here radians inside the double quotes. But as soon as you use the command print over this value, it gives you here an error, right? So why this is happening and why print is not working and what is the way out? That is the question which we would like to explore in this lecture. So the print function has a significant limitation that it prints only one object at a time. And here what are you trying to do? You have here a character and you have here a numeric, and you want to print both of them together. So the question is now how to do it. Okay, first option is that, okay, means I can bring this print command at various places wherever we have character and numeric. So I can write down here print for this 0 occurs at, and then I can write down here, say here print twice star pi, and then I can write down here print radians. And let us try to see what happens like this. Print the 0 occurs at, and then I'm giving here this semicolon, and then I'm writing here print 2 star pi, then I'm writing here once again semicolon, and then I'm writing down here print radians. So if you try to recall what you wanted like this, the 0 occurs at 6.18 radians, but now it is giving you here like this, the 0 occurs at 6.28 3185 and then radians. So is it the same format in which you wanted to have it? No, this outcome is like that. You are going to get this outcome in 3 different lines, line number 1, line number 2 and line number 3, and if you try to do it in the R console, it will look like this. This is the thing which you don't want. You want everything to be written in the same line. So how to get it done? So in order to solve such issues, we have here an alternative function which is here cat, and this is an alternative to print function, and it allows you to combine the multiple items into a continuous output. For example, here you wanted to print the character, number and then character. So these are the things which can be done with the cat function. So the first question comes here, what is the meaning of this cat? Cat is not a cat, right, which speaks like meow meow, right? Cat is a short form of concatenate. What is the meaning of this concatenate? That means it is trying to link in the same sequence. So this function cat, this links different numbers and characters in the same sequence what you try to give it inside the parenthesis, inside the arguments, and then it prints the entire string in the command window, right? Remember why I am emphasizing on the command window or printing in the command window, because if somebody wants to print it on a printer, then this print is not really going to work. Cat is not really going to work. Print and command, they are used only to print on the screen, on the command window, right? And this cat is quite useful when we want to produce the output in a user defined function, in a user friendly way, right? Actually what it does, it converts its argument to character vector, then links them together in the same sequence to a single character vector. And after that, in case if you try to use here an option like SEP, then it will try to append the given separator which is obtained through SEP to each of the element and then outputs it. What does this mean? I will try to show you with an example. So the usual function is here cat, and within the parenthesis you have to give the what you want to print, and then you have to give various options. So there are various options here. So if you want to print something inside a file, then you have to specify here the name of the file in which you want to print the output. Then we have here SEP, which means actually separator. Separator means it will try to separate the different say strings and numbers, whatever you are going to give inside the argument, inside the parenthesis. And then it has here fill, that I will try to show you what it does. Then we have here labels, append, etc. So as the name suggests, for example, append means whatever you have printed, you have to print after this, right? And then I can show you here, or I can inform you in advance that there is a character here like this \n. So this is an indicator of the new line, right? So the outcome, otherwise you will see once the outcome of the cat comes, then the pointer or the symbol which is here on the R console, that will be just after the output, but you want to bring it on the next line. So if you want to bring this prompt symbol to the next line, then you have to use this character. I will try to show you once again with the one more thing. And then there are many more things about this cat, and I would request you that you try to read it from the help menu. Some important things I have written here. For example, this option here is fill. This is a logical variable. It gives the value in terms of true and false, and it tries to control how the output is to be broken into the successive lines. Similarly, we have here labels, and this is a character vector of label for the lines which are printed, and it is ignored if fill is false. So that is also a logical variable having the value true and false. And similarly, append is also logical variable. It takes the value in terms of true and false, and it is to be used only if the argument file is the name of the file. It means when you want to save the outcome into the file and so on. So if it is true, then the output will be appended to file, otherwise it will be overwrite on the contents of the file. So if you have already written something, and if you want the output to be written at the end, it means every time you try to repeat your program, whatever the outcome comes, if that is to be written after the end, then you have to use true. Otherwise, if you want to overwrite the earlier outcome, you need to write here false. So there are many such options, and I would request you that you please try to look into the help. Now I try to give you here a couple of examples so that I can show you what is the outcome of the cat. And first I would like to show you what is the difference in the outcomes of the print and cat. So I try to take here the same example which I just took it, that I wanted to print the 0 occurs at 2 pi radian. So once you are trying to use the print command with each and every character or numeric values, then it is going to print the outcome in 3 different lines, but you want to have it on the single line. So then you can use here the cat command, and if you try to see here, that simply have to write down here cat, and then whatever are the characters, they have to be written inside the double quotes. Whatever are the numerical values, they have to be written without using the double quotes, and everything is going to be separated by comma. That is a very simple format for writing the commands or what you want to print with the cat command. So for example, if you want to print here the 0 occurs at, so you know this is here a character. So you try to write here like this, then you know that's twice of pi, which is 2 into pi, that is 2 multiplication pi. This is a number, so I am just typing it here as a 2 into pi, and then this radians is a character, so I'm trying to give it inside the double quotes, and then all these things, they are separated by the comma. And now after this, I try to give you here this symbol within double quotes \n. So this is going to change the line after you have executed it, and the control will come to the next line. So if you try to execute execute it on the R software, it will look like this. The 0 occurs at this 6.283185 radians. So exactly this is what you wanted. But when you use the print command, it gave you here this type of outcome. So this is what you understand, that what is the difference between print and cat. Print and cat both are doing the same thing, but the way in which they are going to operate, they are different, right? And if you try to see here, this is the screenshot of the same outcome, right? So let me try to show you these things first on our console, and then I try to give you here some more commands over here. So if I try to here this here print, you can see here it comes in the 3 different line. But in case if you want to write down here in a single line using the command cat, so you can see here that it is coming in the same line. And yeah, now if I try to show you what will happen if you don't try to use here this \n. Now you will see that as soon as you have executed, this outcome came here, and then this prompt sign that came on the next line. But now if you don't do it, you can see here the prompt sign comes here, right? But on the same lines, if you try to give it here the earlier command, then the prompt comes here on the next line. So this is the use of this \n. So this gives you the new line. Okay, so now I come to our next example and try to show you. So for example, you have learned that there is a command in the R software to find out the time and date, and suppose you want to write that today's date is, and then after that whatever is the date or time that should come there. Actually these types of things will be very useful when you are trying to write down the report. So if you try to print this date and time with some statement, then people will very clearly understand that. For example, if you write the report was printed on, and then you try to give the command for the date or the function for the date, then whenever the report is generated, whatever is the date and time in the computer system, that will be printed automatically there. For example, if you try to see here, I try to use here variable here d to indicate the date. So that was the command to find out the date and time. So I want to write here like this. I want to write as a string that today's date is like this. So I try to write down inside the double quotes, and then I want to write down here whatever is the date today, that should come. And you know that both of them are going to be separated by the comma, but comma is not printed in the outcome. And after that, as a rule, I will write down here \n. Now if you try to execute it, now you can see how the outcome will look like. Today's date is, that is coming from here, then it is here the value of d, Wednesday, December 01, time is 22 hours 52 minutes 48 seconds 2021. Well, that is the time and date when I had prepared the slide, right? And you can see here this outcome on the R software also. Now at this moment, if I try to do it here, then it is going to give you the time and date when I am recording this lecture, right? And this is going to be different when you are trying to do it on your computer. For example, if you try to see here, suppose if I try to say here d is your here date, right? So you can see here the value of here d here is like this. Today is Thursday, December 02, 14 hours 57 minutes 29 seconds 2021. And if you try to have here a statement like this one, today's date is like this, and then d, and then here \n. Similarly, if you want to, suppose I want to write here that this report was prepared on, and after that I give here date and time, or after this also I can say here, say by Shalab, right, and comma. You can see here this will come here like this, right? If I try to reduce the font size, you can see it very clearly. This is the outcome here. This report was prepared on this today, and yeah, date is here like this, yeah, like this, right? And if you want to make it here more general, because now you can see here, because d is coming directly, so if you try to simply use here the command here directly, this will also work. So you can see here the difference. If you are trying to give here the date directly here, then when I executed the earlier command, this was at 14:57:29, but now this command is at 14:58:42. So this will give you the exact date and time when this report was prepared, right? So let us try to come back to our slides and try to see what else we have to learn, right? After this, I try to give you here some combination of some numerical values and their separator. So as the meaning of this separator suggests is that it is trying to separate two numbers or two strings, etc. So in order to explain it, let me try to take here one example. I try to take here the number x 1 to 10, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and now I want to print this number, but you can see here between two numbers it is only here a blank. So I don't want here blank, but I want to print here some number, some symbol, or whatever I want. So in order to do it, the option here is that try to use the cat command, try to give here the value or the data vector in which you have stored the values, and then use the command SEP. SEP means separator. Then equal to, and whatever you want to give in place of these blank spaces, you try to give it within the double quotes. So suppose you can see here I have given here a blank space, then two plus signs, and then a blank space, and I want that between any two number it should be like here this plus plus, and then it should be here somewhere here blank space. So now if you try to do it, this outcome will look like this 1 2 3 4, and you can see here between every pair of number this separator is inserted, right? And yeah, because I am doing it continuously on the R console, so I am using here the command cat and within parenthesis within double quotes \n. So this is used to change the line. Otherwise, if you don't do it, your this prompt sign will come over here, as I explained you in the earlier example. And suppose I want to change this separator and I want to have here separator like as here this slash sign. So I try to give it here blank sign, then slash, and then blank space. So you can see here between any two numbers, this symbol, whatever you have given inside the double quotes is entered here, right? So this is how the things work, and this is here the screenshot of the same operation which I shown you. So let me try to first show you these operations on the R console, and then I move forward. Okay, so now if you try to see here, I try to take here x equal to 1 to 10, and then I try to give it here like this. Now you can see here 1 to 10, but this blank sign and plus this is entered between every pair of the number, you can see here. And now you can see here, after this is executed, the control is coming here, right? So you have one option is that you try to take it here like to give here \n within the double quotes using this cat command, so it will come to the next line. Or other option is this, I can tell you, which is a better option, that you try to give here itself cat. Cat is already there, so you have to just give here \n inside the double quotes, and now you will see here this control will come to the next line. You can see here instead of here, right? Now if I try to use here this command, and suppose instead of here plus plus I try to give it here say 3 stars, you can see here now it is here like this. And even if you want to give here only the blank spaces here like this, you can see here now they are separated. So this sep command is used to insert different types of separation with symbols or blank space within this command between two numbers, right? Similarly, I try to take here one more example. You have seen this type of examples in your mathematics books, and I want to do it that I have here number here x equal to 7. This number is going to be changing, varying, and it is user dependent. What I want to write that the square of this number is going to be whatever is the output of the square. So I try to write down here the square of, and this is a string, so I try to write down it within the double quotes, and then I want to write down here the square of this number. Which number? I try to write down here x, and then I try to write down here is within the double quotes, and then whatever is the square of x, which is x square, I try to write down here it mathematically, say x had 2, and after this I want to write down this exclamation sign and then next line. So if you try to execute it, now you can see what is happening. The square of 7 is coming from where? Here is 49. 49 is coming from here, 7 is square. And this is here the screenshot of the same operation, right? So you can see here, this is how you can control the output in the way you want, right? Similarly, if I want to use here the format command also, and suppose I want to have an outcome like this one, first you try to see here the outcome. The square root of 7 is approximately 2.65. So if you want to do it, now you have to look how you can frame your cat command. So I try to write down here cat, then the square root of, this is a character, so I try to give it here inside the double quotes. And after this is here a number 7 which is coming from here x, so x is coming here, and then after this you have once again here character is, so and then it is actually is approximately, so this is approximately is given here within the double quotes, and then after that you want here this 2.65, and your objective is that if you try to see here square root of 7, that is going to take more number of digits, so you want to restrict the output to have only 3 digits. So I try to write down here format and then inside the parenthesis sqrt square root of x, and then digits is equal to 3. So this is going to give you here this type of outcome, and then yeah, obviously this backslash n will change the next line. So and if you try to see here this outcome, it will look like this. So you can see here that whatever the commands we have used here, format and digits, square root, etc., that we already have learnt, right? Now in both these examples, I have taken the input variable x as a single value, a scalar. Now I try to take here a data vector. For example, if I try to take here a data vector of 5 values 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and let us call it as a even number, either even NO. So this is this data vector. Now I want to print like this. So instead of looking at the command, first you try to look at the outcome, that this is what we want, and now you have to think how you have to write the command. So if you try to see here, the first few even numbers are, this is a character, so it is written here inside the double quotes, and then you want to print like this 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. So this is coming from where? From this even number. So you try to write down only here like this, EVEN, and then comma. And then after this, if you try to observe, you want to write down here dot dot dot. This means continued. So for that, this is also a character. So you try to write down here like this here, dot dot dot, and then the action to change the line, and you will get here this outcome that you can see in the screenshot here. So you have seen this type of outcome many times. They are printed in the mathematics books and in different types of reports. So now you can see it is not a very difficult thing to do, right? And before I move forward, let me try to give you here these things. How do they work in the R console? So I try to take here some value here, x equal to suppose here 9. So this is here x is 9, and if you try to print here this command, the square of x is x square. So what do you get here? The square of 9 is 81. Similarly, if you try to see here what is the value of square root of say 7, you can see here this is 2.645751, and if you try to take it here, now here x equal to here 7, and if you try to use here this command here, that the square root of x is approximately format square root of 27, square root of 7, so it will come out to be the square root of 7 is approximately 2.65. So this is an outcome of the statement, right? And similarly, if you try to take here this example where you are trying to take some here this data vector. So if I try to say here even number is equal to C 2, 4, 6, 8 like this. So if you try to press here like this, then it will give you the first few even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8 after dot dot dot, right? Okay, now I give you here one more example, that suppose I want to do a very specific type of operation like this one. First you can see here at the outcome. So what's happening here? You have here this number 1, 2, 3, 4 up to here 10. Then you have here alphabets in lowercase a, b, c, d up to here j, and you want to print them like this, that there is here a parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, this is here are the alphabets, and after this there is a colon, and then it's here 1. So how to write down here? How to write this thing using the fill command here and with the cat. So first, in order to generate here this numbers 1 to 10, like here this one, I try to use here the command x is equal to 1 to 10, 1 colon 10. So this will give me here these 10 values. Now I want to generate first this here lowercase alphabet. So I try to give here use here the command letters in lowercase LETTERS, and within the square bracket 1 to 10, right? After this, you have to how you are going to print here. So if you try to use your cat, then what you want to print x, and then this fill is equal to 2, and then now you have to give here the labels, and labels you want to here paste. Well, if we have not done the command paste here, but in the forthcoming lecture we are going to learn about it, and after that you can revise this example once again, and then you will understand it very clearly, right? So if you try to see here what I am trying to do here, this is a parenthesis for the command paste, so no issues. So now whatever I have to write, I am writing in this color red. So whatever is this here, this parenthesis, this is now given here like this inside the double quotes, and after that you want here letters. For example, this is here A, so you are going to write down here letters 1 colon 10, and after that what you want here is this number here colon, and can here this number 1. So this colon is, and actually you want here this bracket and colon together. So this bracket and colon together, they are here like this, right? And then you can can see here you want here x, so this is coming here number. So now if you try to see, this outcome will look like this. So let me try to show you it on the R console, and then you will understand it very easily, right? So if I try to take here this command here x like this, you can see here x is equal to here 1 to 10. And then here like this. So you can see here you are getting here this type of value. Well, yeah, I agree at this moment, because I have not told you about the paste command, so it may not be 100% clear, but anyway, in the next lecture I am going to talk about it. So after this, it won't be difficult for you to understand this command over here and this example here, right? So now we come to an end to this lecture, and you can see here that in this lecture that was very simple, and I have explained you the use of the cat function. And with this cat function, you have an advantage that you can join the things together, and which was not possible in the print command. And in cat, there is a possibility that you can combine different types of data object, like as you have combined the character and number. Character means some statement, and the number means that can be input, that can be output, or that can be some function also, the value of some function. So now this opens lots of opportunities for you to create example and try to practice. You can just look into any book or any report from the software, how they are trying to generate it. And then you try to see how you can generate the same report in our software. Well, there are some paid software which generates this type of report automatically. You just say click, and after doing the analysis, whatever you want, and then they will generate a report which is very user friendly. The only difference in the R software is that you need to understand what type of report you want, where you want to write what, and then you have to use this print, cat, paste, and different types of formatting commands to generate exactly the same report, and that is without any cost. But you have to work, you have to write the program. So you try to practice it, and I will see you in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.